It was a cold, stormy evening. The rain poured down in sheets, blurring the windshield of Daniel's old car as he drove home from his second shift. He was exhausted. His shirt clung to him from the dampness that seeped in through the cracks of his old sedan. His hands were calloused from working construction all day, and his eyes burned with fatigue. Daniel was a single father raising his 8-year-old daughter, Lily. Life hadn't been kind to him. His wife had passed away suddenly 3 years earlier, leaving him to navigate parenthood alone. Ever since, every day felt like a mountain climb, working 2 jobs, cooking simple meals, helping Lily with homework, and trying to keep her smiling even when he himself had no strength left. That evening, as he drove along a near-empty road, he noticed a figure up ahead, sitting on the curb in the pouring rain. A woman, her nurse's uniform soaked through, her hair plastered to her face, shoulders trembling. She was crying openly, without caring who saw. Something inside Daniel told him to stop. Maybe it was the look of sheer despair on her face. Maybe it was because he knew what it felt like to have the world crashing down while everyone else just kept moving. He pulled over, rolled down the window, and called out. "Are you okay, ma'am?" The woman looked up, startled. Her eyes were swollen from tears. She tried to smile but couldn't. I'm fine," she whispered, but her voice cracked. Daniel stepped out into the rain, despite his exhaustion. He knelt beside her. "You don't look fine. Can I help?" The nurse shook her head, gripping something tightly in her hands, a crumpled piece of paper. "I just lost my mother," she finally said, her voice breaking. "She passed away this morning, and I had to work my shift anyway. I've been holding it in all day. When I finally clocked out, I just couldn't anymore." Her words struck Daniel like a knife. The sight of her pain pulled memories of his late wife to the surface, raw and sharp. He knew that kind of grief. He knew the hollow emptiness of losing someone you love. He hesitated for a moment, then gently sat down beside her in the rain. "I know it hurts. I lost my wife. I thought I'd never breathe again. But you will, because love doesn't leave. It stays inside you, even when they're gone." The nurse looked at him, her tears mingling with the raindrops. For the first time all day, she felt someone truly understood. Daniel offered her his jacket, even though he was shivering himself. He insisted on driving her home. On the way, she told him her name was Sarah. She explained how she had been juggling long shifts at the hospital while also caring for her sick mother. She had been the sole caregiver, and now, with her gone, Sarah felt utterly lost. Daniel listened quietly, nodding. Lily, who was sitting in the backseat, leaned forward and softly said, "My mommy's in heaven too. Daddy says she watches over us. Maybe your mommy is watching you now." Sarah's eyes filled with tears again, but this time they were different. Softer, healing. She reached back and squeezed Lily's little hand. When they reached her apartment, Sarah invited them in for tea. The 3 of them sat in her small, cozy living room, steam rising from the cups as the storm continued outside. For hours, they talked. About loss, about love, about survival, and in that quiet exchange, something shifted. Weeks passed. Daniel and Lily kept checking on Sarah. They dropped off meals, sometimes just sat with her when the silence in her apartment became too much to bear. Slowly, Sarah started to smile again. She found herself laughing at Lily's silly jokes. She found herself looking forward to Daniel's company, his steady presence, the way he carried his pain without bitterness. And then, one evening, Sarah revealed something that left Daniel speechless. She confessed that she had been planning to quit nursing because the weight of her loss felt unbearable. That night in the rain, she hadn't just been grieving, she had been at her breaking point, ready to give up on everything. "But then you stopped," she said softly, looking at Daniel. "You didn't just give me a ride home. You gave me a reason to keep going. You and Lily reminded me that I still have purpose, that I still matter. Because of you, I chose to stay. And today, I applied to a program that helps train young nurses in grief counseling. I want to help others like me, the way you helped me." Daniel sat in stunned silence, his chest tight with emotion. He had thought he was just offering a small act of kindness that night. He hadn't realized he had saved a life. Lily beamed and said, "See, Daddy. Mommy always says we have to help people. Maybe she sent us to Sarah." Tears welled in Daniel's eyes. He pulled Lily close and looked at Sarah, his voice steady but trembling. "Maybe you're right, maybe she did." From that day on, the 3 of them weren't just friends. They became family in the most unexpected way. broken pieces finding strength together. And as Daniel tucked Lily into bed one night, he whispered a silent thank you to his late wife. Because in helping someone else heal, he had found healing too.